Hello everyone, welcome to our presentation. Today we're going to talk about affect and motivation. We want to ask you two questions, namely, what does motivation mean to you? And what do you think affect means? You can find the links to answer the questions in our handout so that it's easier for you to copy the link. So, what is affect? All aspects of learning are colored by the complex web of emotions and feelings involved in learning and using a foreign language. Affect is the umbrella term used to describe all the emotionally related aspects of language learning. Why are emotions important for teachers? It is especially important for teachers to understand emotions because the brain prioritizes emotional reactions. That means when we experience a strong emotional reaction, it can often override other cognitive processes as the brain allocates its resources to this reaction. When it comes to affect in language learning, it is important to know about the affective filter. When the language learning or language use situation contains a lot of negative emotions or feelings, the affective filter is raised. This means learners are blocked mentally through the negative emotions, which reduces the comprehensible input reaching the learner. Consequently, with a high degree of positive emotions, the affective filter would be lowered, and so the learners would be more open to receiving and engaging with comprehensible input. Concerning anxiety, we want you to answer a question. Have you ever experienced anxiety in a language classroom before? Please answer the question together with your study group and post the responses in the Moodle forum. Probably all of us have experienced some level of anxiety before. It is possible that in the context of learning or using a foreign language, an individual suddenly becomes highly anxious. This is known as foreign language anxiety. Using a foreign language is closely connected with self-expression, and if we feel limited in our ability to communicate meaningful messages, then we may feel that we are not projecting what we consider to be an accurate reflection of ourselves. This limited and restricted form of self-expression and the ensuing frustration can be extremely face-threatening and can undermine our sense of self, confidence, and feelings of security. Even the most apparently trivial aspects of language learning can cause anxiety, such as a learner feeling embarrassed about using an unfamiliar word or sound in front of classmates. This fear of being laughed at and judged negatively by others can cause a high degree of anxiety, especially for teenagers who are often sensitive to threats to their identity, self-esteem, and social standing. Anxiety is problematic in terms of language acquisition and achievement, as it can cause learners difficulties in language comprehension, processing, and production. In other words, it can prevent learners from understanding what other people are saying. It can limit their ability to store and retrieve language from memory, and it can inhibit their capacity to communicate their own ideas in both speech and writing. Anxiety during tests is also common. This anxiety can lead to performing badly, whereas for other learners, tests may bring out the best in them. So, how can teachers reduce students' anxiety? It is important to foster a positive group atmosphere and a sense of trust, security, and community in the classroom. Learners need to feel comfortable and safe and unthreatened, and need to be in a group setting in which peers support rather than judge and evaluate another. We need to help learners focus on the positives and consider their progress and achievements. Also, learners need to feel that goals are realistic and potentially attainable. Next, we want you to watch an interesting YouTube video about how to reduce anxiety when speaking. Now, I want to talk a little bit about broaden and build theory. Positive emotions broaden people's attention and the way they think and act, in contrast to negative emotions, which narrow down people's thinking and wish to act. Individuals with more positive emotions are able to think in more diverse, creative ways and are more likely to actively explore and approach a topic or area, thereby tending to minds more open to experiences and learning. To reinforce positive emotions, teachers need to support learners in becoming aware of their strengths and finding ways to employ them meaningfully in the pursuit of language learning. Teachers need to focus on language learning in terms of positive experiences associated with it and the positive social relationships surrounding those experiences, as well as through a cooperative, positive community within a group. Also, promoting optimism is important because optimists expect positive future outcomes. They generally work harder, are less likely to give up in the face of challenges, and are more resilient to setbacks. Finally, please read on page 9 to 10 about emotional intelligence in Affect posted on Moodle, and do the quiz. Thanks for listening.